Good evening. I'm thrilled to welcome you to our second anniversary celebration. Dimension Sciences is a registered 501c3 nonprofit. Our mission is to assist early career scientists from underrepresented communities through mentoring programs and scholarships to promote diversity in the sciences, to further equity, international collaboration, and innovative research. It is my pleasure to introduce our host for the evening, Bob Chapman, Dimension Sciences co-founder and strategic director. Bob came to Dimension Sciences with more than 25 years in public policy and grassroots advocacy in the United States and Brazil. His experience includes an appointment in the Clinton administration in the Office of Presidential Advance and Department of Defense. In addition, he served as the Brazil country director for the Clinton Foundation, working closely with the mayors of Sao Paulo and Rio de Janeiro to advance climate change mitigation and environmental policies. He served as managing director of global alliances at American Cancer Society and is currently senior advisor at APCO Worldwide. He brings a wealth of experience in nonprofit management, capacity building, and fundraising. His extensive network includes multilateral institutions, including the United Nations, World Bank, and World Health Organization, and he supports several nonprofit initiatives around the world. Welcome, Bob.
Thank you so much, Coca. I think the meeting is over now because you're taking up all that time at the introduction, but I do appreciate it. Hello, everyone. Again, my name is Bob Chapman. I am the co-founder and strategic director of Dimension Sciences. I want to thank all of you for joining us on this special evening to celebrate our second anniversary. I just can't believe it. Dimension Sciences was started with a dream and a vision and 2 cups of coffee. To be honest, that's all we could afford at the time. But since that day, in November 2019, Dimension Sciences has been growing and working to expand diversity, equity, and inclusion in the sciences. We've already impacted more than 400 lives through scholarships and in the sciences and mentoring towards this imperative of creating a much more diverse scientific ecosystem. And here we are today, celebrating our second anniversary. It's kind of hard to believe. Dimension Sciences believes in the power of people who want to impact the world in their own unique way. We believe in making all voices heard, regardless of their race, gender, or socioeconomic status. When we have more diversity in science, we have better outcomes, and all of humanity benefits. Tonight, we are celebrating our second anniversary with speakers and videos highlighting the important work we've accomplished in just those 2 past years. First up, I have the honor to introduce to you our co-founder, my partner, and executive director, Dr. Marcia Fournier. Marcia is an entrepreneur with 20 years of experience leading teams and developing innovative healthcare products, applying genomics, machine learning, and basic research. She came to the United States, and this is important. She came to the United States 25 years ago with an international exchange scholarship to pursue her doctoral research in oncology at the prestiged Dana-Farber Cancer Institute in Boston, Massachusetts. After receiving her PhD from the University of Rio de Janeiro, she had the opportunity to work in leading U.S. institutions, including Lawrence Berkeley National Laboratory as a postdoc fellow and GlaxoSmithKline as a principal scientist. Most recently, Marcia has led a biotechnology company called BioArray Genetics for the last 10 years. Marcia's experience as an immigrant with a PhD in science combined with work as an entrepreneur, hard work, and an executive in healthcare gives her a unique perspective on education and minorities in science. Welcome, Marcia.
When I first time landed in the U.S. soil, I landed in Boston, Massachusetts. February 17, President's Day, 1997. I came from Rio de Janeiro. Have you heard of it? Tropical city, sunshine, ocean. Our winter is, if it gets to 60, let's get your winter jacket in, because 60 is very cold. That's what my family says up to date. I came to Boston and was below freezing. I was very excited to actually land in Boston. I was coming with a scholarship from Brazil to pursue my doctoral studies at the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute, which is part of Harvard Medical School. It was my dream to come here and do research. And I was ready for it. I had my winter boots, I had my coat, everything I bought in the real fashion streets. All my winter gear, I was ready for Boston. Besides the fact that my boot really cracked. 2 days later, because of the snow, it froze. Was not ready for that winter, so I had to I had to go shopping in Boston for real winter clothes when it's below 60. This was the first time I realized that scholarship would not be only about research. That scholarship would be also about learning to live in a new place, learning a new language. Oh yeah, let me tell you about that story. First person I met was the security guard in front of the Dana-Farber, and he said to me in a very high, "Hey, how are you doing?" Oh my God. I said, what does he mean? I learned English. I went to English school. You say, how are you? What he mean by how are you doing? Doing what? I'm walking well. I'm coming in well. So yes, when you learn a language in a foreign country, you may not learn exactly the way people say things on that country. So that's what happens to me. I had to relearn English when I came in. Learn the culture. Nobody laugh on my jokes anymore because they didn't understand the Brazilian popular culture. I didn't laugh on American jokes in the first 2 or 3 years I was here. So that scholarship, more and more I live it in the U.S., I realized that scholarship not only changed the course of my career, but also who I was and what I knew about the world. Getting to know a new culture opened up so much in my life. New friends that became my family, because when you're living in a foreign country, your friends become your family. There was so much more to it that just the research in the lab. The research in the lab also opened up an opportunity for jobs and new connections. And today I think people say I'm a successful scientist, but I must say I'm still learning every day. But always start with my early career scholarships of bringing me here and opening such amazing experiences in my life. So when I founded Dimension Sciences, Bob and I founded it with that sentiment of giving back to our community through scholarships that can be life-changing. Thank you.
Well, welcome back, everyone. just let me say thank you to Marcia for that inspiring message and the opportunity to partner with her on making this dream a reality. You have all joined us tonight because you recognize the importance of the work of Dimension Sciences. The truth is that we can't continue this work without funding, and you are an important part of those efforts. As I like to say, fundraising isn't all we do, but all we do depends on it. As you may know, we've been holding an auction this month with over 100 items, wine tastings, amazing vacations, jewelry, sports memorabilia, and a variety of other exciting experiences, all to raise more money for our cause and our scholarships. Items like these wines, for example, available now only to our Brazilian bidders. These wines have been provided by Decantese, a Brazilian-owned distributor of wines. There's still time to get on the auction action. The auction will close at midnight tonight Eastern Time, so check out our auction and get your bids in now. My colleagues will drop in the link so that you can put your bids in, and we appreciate all the support and help we can get. Thank you.
I applied to DS Bridges because I see the opportunity to get support to my research.
I applied for a DS Bridges scholarship because I am transitioning from a position here in the US, and I'm very happy to return to my home country with the support of Dimension Sciences. When I was reading about, like the support that the DS Bridges has with LGBT people, Black people, and everyone. When I have my own lab, one of my dreams is also to support and prioritize bringing a diverse group, a team of scientists. So I really identify myself with the goal of DS Bridges.
And I have applied for the scholarship because I just finished my master's degree study on May, and I haven't yet started my PhD study. So I saw in the scholarship a possibility to have this financial aid between this gap between my master's degree and my PhD, because I am keep working even without any financial aid in this COVID-19 project. So this is why I decided to apply for the scholarship.
É tão importante hoje, nesse momento de tanta vulnerabilidade da saúde, que a gente tenha prevenção, e só através de vocês nós vamos conseguir ter prevenção. E de repente vem esse grupo maravilhoso e me apresenta um prêmio para poder homenagear 5 mulheres cientistas. Nossa, foi muito maravilhoso, eu sei.
Well, Marcia.
Hey, Bob, finally.
Finally.
Well, I think this is the pandemic, right? We're still living in the virtual.
That's correct. Yeah, absolutely right. Maybe in our next career, we could focus on just technology and virtual programming. But Marcia, let me just say, heart to heart, congratulations. It was your dream and your passion and your vision and my cup of coffee that started all of this. So let me ask you, what are you thinking today? What's in your mind?
So I'm super proud of all volunteers that put this together, and also very proud of our scholars and awardees. And I'm really excited with the program today and listen from many of them here today. So I'm looking forward to see the rest of the program, and I hope everybody out there is joining us. And so I really appreciate, Bob, that coffee. We have to have that coffee every year and bring along everybody that we're impacting with the programs that we created.
Sounds great. Well, again, congratulations, parabéns to you. Let's move on with the show.
Hello, everyone. It's an honor to be here to celebrate and support diversity in science. Let me share with you a little bit about myself. I'm a Brazilian born and raised in the Cerrado, and as someone who's very in love with nature, that's how I started my career as a wildlife veterinarian. Suddenly, life happened, and I found myself engaged to a foreigner with a one-way ticket to the US. I knew that I didn't want to validate my diploma due to costs and time, and I wanted to continue working with science, which isn't quite what the validation process would entail. So I applied to UC Davis graduate program, the MPVM, and I was accepted. And this master's really did change my life. It opened so many doors, including an internship at Institut Pasteur, Madagascar. So upon my graduation, I applied and I was accepted to a state fellowship program in public health. And I've since been working with the pandemic response, producing information to lead data-driven decisions. Last month, I was hired as a full-time epidemiologist for local health jurisdictions. And here I am 4 years after immigrating to the US with a newfound passion, public health. Still, I wanted to remain connected to my country and give back, especially considering that all of my undergrad and the graduate studies that I did in Brazil were 100% free, and that really helped launch my career here in the US. So in 2019, I began volunteering with Grupo Mulheres do Brasil in the Silicon Valley chapter. This is a woman-led Brazilian-born group with currently almost 100,000 members, women, all over the world that focus on female leadership to build a better society. In the Silicon Valley chapter, we have the Science Committee, which is the only one of the kind in the whole institution. And our mission is to help bring Brazilian scientists, help support Brazilian scientists wherever they are, highlight the presence of women in science, and build bridges between Brazil and the US. Our objectives are very close to Dimension Science Mission. So naturally, we started a partnership in 2020 where we created an incredible project, the Scientista Award. Now, Scientista is a fusion between scientist, which is an English word, with the A pronoun indicative of a female word in Portuguese, intended to honor Brazilian immigrant women who conduct research in the United States. Our first edition in April 2021, we received 50 applications from 16 states all over the US. We awarded 2 first prize winners with $2,000 each. And we had 5 incredible runner-ups who received honorable mention. And we were able to award all of our 30 finalists. I really want to highlight the impact that the award had on the women that participated in an event. And when we started to make this project, we never really expected the size and the impact that we would have on these women. Sure, we, tossed words around like empowerment and allyship, but when we saw the response that we got from the women that participated, it literally brought us all to tears of joy, of course. Among some of our winners, we had single mothers, first-generation scientists, women with a lot of years as career scientists, some that were just beginning, all of them sharing their ups and downs, insecurities, accomplishment, imposter syndrome, and how this recognition was important to keep their stamina and fight in becoming a successful scientist. They also had the opportunity to meet each other and to share their research and to continue spreading awareness on science through a series of programs that Grupo Mulheres do Brasil and Dimension Science worked with them afterwards. I just want to wrap up using a slogan that became very popular in Brazil recently, especially with science suffering such lack of support and funding. It's a rough translation, so bear with me. Nobody let go of anyone's hand. So hand in hand, help us to continue our work to support and uplift women scientists. Be part of this initiative to encourage more women in science. Thank you very much, and congratulations, Dimensions.
So Nájera, I want to thank you for your participation on Dimension Science Gala. The partnership with Grupo Mulheres Brasil and Dimension Science, creating this amazing award, the Scientista Award. We had the first edition this year, and so we're really looking forward to the next edition, but it was amazing to meet amazing women, Latino women working in biotechnology in the US. So the Scientista Award honors all these women, and we really think this is an amazing program. I just want to talk here with you guys for a little bit. And thank you for all of you being here today, celebrating Dimension Science's second anniversary. Dimension Sciences is an organization that is fully run by volunteers, 100% volunteers. And and as you saw in the highlights and some of our speakers so far, we created a series of programs to support early career scientists with scholarships, awards, and also a programming. A lot of our scholars tell us how the programming transformed their lives. This programming that we offer includes mentoring, group mentoring, one-on-one mentoring, workshops, and also we foster discussion between scientists and creating new networks. So with that, we really aim to connect our scholars and awardees to a network of professionals that can support their dreams. With that, I'm going to pass and we will continue the program. Thank you so much for staying with me.
Again, to reiterate what Marcia just said, as well as Nájera, thank you so much for the partnership with Grupo Mulheres do Brasil. It's been a very important part of our programming to expand our scholarship programs, mentoring, and also to pay it forward. Because Dimension Sciences is a global organization, we must use interpreters for many of our programs and events. Each event with an interpreter can cost well over $400, $500, but that only comes out to $33 a month. So your monthly contribution can help us continue providing interpretation and translation at our events. You see there some of the programs and what Pay It Forward means. It really means to underscore that a small amount of money can go a very long way. So we encourage everyone to support our programs, even if it's $20, $30, $50 a month. All of it goes to a good cause and it all adds up. So I also want to mention that you see there on the screen the Scan Me QR code. If you just take your mobile device and take a picture of that. Open up your camera, put it up to the screen. That will take you to our donation page for the Pay It Forward program. So now I would like to introduce one of our scholars. Glaucia Caruso is a 2020 COVID Task Force Scholarship recipient. She is currently a PhD candidate at the Universidad of São Paulo and a scientific consultant at Brasil Química Indústria de Comércio in São Paulo. Glaucia, it's great to see you again. Welcome.
Hello everyone, good evening. I'm Glaucia Rigoto Caruso. I'm from Brazil and I was one of the DS scholars in 2020 and I'm here to talk about my trajectory in science and why I support so much dimension science. I'm a biotechnologist and I got my degree in 2015. And in 2015, I got my first job in a plant nutrition company. I was a lab technician. It was an amazing experience. It was an important job because I was able to acquire a lot of experience, which helped me a lot to when I entered in my master's in 2017. So from this period to 2020, I usually say that I got my scientific maturity. I got my master's degree. I got another job in another company of plant nutrition, but this time as a researcher coordinator. But pandemic messed with my plants in 2020 and I got unemployed. And here in Ribeirão Preto, the city where I live, the cases of COVID-19 spread a lot. And a task force was created to help in diagnostic and the control of the cases. So I was at home rest, and I was doing absolutely nothing. So I volunteered myself to help because I had knowledge, a scientific knowledge to help in the molecular diagnosis. Somehow DS showed up, and with the program for scholarships and mentoring in the worst moment of my life, because in this period I have to return my rented apartment and go back to live with my family, postpone some dreams. And my mind was a mess. Sometimes we are hard on ourselves, don't we? Dimension Science support me during this period, offering me social support in our meetings and the mentoring programs. And I'm so grateful for this opportunity. And that's why I supported Dimension Science so much. And now the fresh news is that I'm a PhD candidate here in the University of São Paulo, and I'm also doing scientific consulting in biotechnology, and guess where? in the company where I got my first job. This organization and people are not just about science. They are about humanity, equality, and love. And all I have to say, happy anniversary, DS. Good night everyone. Enjoy the online party and warm regards from Brazil. Okay? Bye.
Glaucia, that was just amazing. And let me just say that we may have helped you through your career journey and your studies, but you inspire all of us. And I just cannot wait for the day when I can call you Dr. Caruso. I will be there for you, I promise. So again, this is highlights that it would not be a celebration if we did not tell you about the successes we've had with these programs. In 2020, our COVID Task Force Scholarship, which Glaucia had participated in, resulted in all 7 recipients finding placement in a position by the end of the program. Isn't that amazing? And our 2021 Dimension Sciences Bridges program, which is only halfway through, has already seen 3 scholars receiving offers for a research position. Our scholarships are making a difference. So I still want to talk about the need for money. One of the greatest privileges I can have with Dimension Sciences is reviewing the applications and the evaluation process for those who apply for our programs. It is also the most difficult. I have never had more, difficulty in selecting a handful out of 50 to 100 applicants who truly deserve our support. But we can't do it unless we have the funding. So again, I want to reiterate that you can go to this QR code on the screen, scan it with your camera. You could actually choose the program of your choice you would like to support. So there's still time before our auction closes. Again, this auction will close at midnight tonight. Don't miss out on a chance to win a one-of-a-kind collector's item like this autographed jersey, an autographed jersey from Pele, one of the greatest athletes of history. This is your chance to own a part of Brazilian sports history. Go Pele. So our next guest is Ariana Monteiro, a Dimension Sciences volunteer working on a Dimension Sciences campus initiative. Ariana is a senior researcher at Envisioning and a creative researcher and writer consulting at the UN High Commissioner for Refugees, otherwise known as the UN Refugee Agency. Welcome, Ariana, and thank you for the great work that you do.
Hello, my name is Ariana. I am a final year student enrolled in a bachelor's degree program in social science at the University of São Paulo, and I also a Dimension Science ambassador at the campus for the second time. Through this experience, I could connect with some brilliant individuals with diverse background and experiences. I also had the chance to interview and learn from well-established scientists. And I'm also learning a bunch of new skills such as conducting prospective research to find potential donors, design and contribute to fundraising campaigns and events. So far I learned that it's not an easy task to maintain an organization on track. So I want to congratulate Dimension Science for this fantastic work on supporting scientists, and also for creating such an inspiring community. Congratulations.
Good night, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here with you all tonight. I am Yara Nogueira. I am a veterinarian. Now I'm doing my PhD looking for biotechnology to assist to recover bird species threatened of extinction. It's an honor to introduce to you a research that I have admired since the day I began to study and work in the conservationist field. This night, we'll have the pleasure to hear about Neiva Guedes' trajectory, story, and advice. Neiva is graduated in biological science with a degree in forest science, a master's degree in forest science, and a PhD in zoology field. She's a professor in the graduate program in environment and regional development at the Uniderp University. She's the president of Instituto Arara Azul, which she founded about 30 years ago. Recently, she entered the United Nations Hall of Fame for her work in recovering the big blue macaws populations from extinction. Thank you, Neiva, for sharing with us tonight and for embracing our cause. With you, Neiva Guedes.
Boa noite, obrigada Yara, obrigada pelo convite, é uma honra participar do Dimension Sciences e falar um pouquinho do meu trabalho, da minha trajetória ao longo de 3 décadas em biologia da conservação. Antes de falar da biologia e das araras, que é o ponto principal do meu trabalho nos últimos 30 anos, eu preciso falar um pouquinho da minha trajetória e da minha vida pessoal. Eu nasci numa família numerosa, são 6 filhos que meus pais tiveram. Minha mãe casou muito cedo e meu pai era 10 anos mais velho que ela, tiveram 6 filhos. Só que a 6ª filha, a minha mãe ficou grávida dela depois de 13 anos sem ter filhos. Então, quando ela estava no 8º mês de gravidez, meu pai faleceu de um acidente vascular cerebral com 47 anos. E minha mãe entrando na faixa dos 40 anos de idade. Eu tinha 19 anos na época, sempre quis fazer medicina, desde criança brincando e estudando como se fosse médica, e de repente nossa condição financeira não ficou muito boa, e eu acabei tendo que trabalhar para ajudar minha mãe a criar minha filha, a minha irmã mais nova. Meu irmão mais velho já era casado, então não tínhamos como nos sustentar. E aí a única forma de eu estudar era o curso de biologia, que era noturno. Só que no 2º ano eu me encanto pela biologia e decido concluir o curso. Eu trabalho durante os 4 anos de universidade aqui no Mato Grosso do Sul, e quando eu concluo o curso, eu estou completamente apaixonada pela profissão. Eu sempre digo que Deus escreve certo pelas minhas tortas, porque eu sou muito grata de tudo isso que aconteceu na minha vida, porque eu sou muito realizada profissionalmente. Então, eu acabei, depois de formada, trabalhando com educação ambiental na Secretaria de Meio Ambiente de Mato Grosso do Sul, onde lá promovemos um curso com vários técnicos do estado em diversos parques do Brasil, a última etapa no Pantanal. E quando estamos no campo, deparamos-nos com uma árvore cheia de araras, mais ou menos umas 30 araras azuis, e o professor diz que ela está ameaçada de extinção. Naquele momento, eu saio dali dizendo para todos os colegas e professor que eu vou estudá-las, que eu vou fazer alguma coisa para que as pessoas possam continuar vendo elas na natureza. E a partir daí, então, isso acaba virando um projeto de vida. Isso aconteceu em novembro de 1989. Em 90, eu começo a estudar as araras azuis. E aí eu encontro um grande desafio, porque eu não era pantaneira, eu não era pesquisadora, eu trabalhava com educação ambiental, e uma bióloga recém-formada, cheia de energia, cheia de vontade de fazer alguma coisa, principalmente pela fauna no Pantanal. Mas eu encontro um desafio porque eu vou andar numa região inóspita, onde tem uma baixa densidade populacional, são cerca de 240 mil quilômetros quadrados, que passa muitas regiões, parte do ano completamente alagado, às vezes com mais de 1 metro de água. E eu, então, não tinha técnica, não tinha uma referência para começar esse trabalho. E eu vou para a Embrapa Pantanal, que me dá apoio com a pesquisa que eles tinham uma fazenda bem na região central do Pantanal. E com o apoio dos pesquisadores da Embrapa e também do chefe da Polícia Militar Ambiental de Mato Grosso do Sul, eu dou início aos primeiros trabalhos. Nos primeiros 40 dias, eu vou para o Pantanal e começo a observar as araras, buscar por ninhos e tentar entender como elas vivem na natureza, porque até então quase não tem informações a respeito delas na natureza. Então, esse meu trabalho ele acaba sendo inédito. Nesses primeiros 40 dias, eu tive muitos resultados positivos de interação com a comunidade local, que foi extremamente receptiva, porque eu estava com outros pesquisadores, e ao longo do tempo e ao passar dos anos, essa afinidade com o Pantanal foi aumentando. E esses primeiros resultados já chamaram muita atenção das pessoas, porque eram os primeiros resultados de fato das araras azuis na natureza. Mas nesses primeiros 40 dias, eu tive dificuldade, porque às vezes eu precisava chegar num local e chegar muito cedo e minha carona chegava tarde, porque era o horário que eles tinham para me pegar. Ou eu precisava ficar até tarde da noite e minha carona passava às 5 horas e eu precisava ficar até às 8. Então, eu sentia a necessidade de ter um veículo próprio, ter independência para fazer o meu trabalho. Porque nesta primeira viagem eu andei de carro, de trator, a cavalo, a pé, de todos os meios de transporte que vocês podem imaginar, sempre na base da carona. E aí, então, eu, com esses primeiros resultados, começo a buscar, junto às indústrias de veículos aqui no Brasil, alguém que me cedesse um carro para que eu pudesse trabalhar no Pantanal. E todas me negam. Posteriormente, depois que eu já tenho esses primeiros resultados, eu até fui para um congresso no Canadá para apresentar esses primeiros resultados, meu futuro orientador, que eu entro no mestrado na Exalc em Piracicaba, em engenharia, em ciências florestais, ele acaba conversando numa palestra, encontrando um engenheiro da Toyota, que leva essa minha necessidade para o chefe dele, e eles acabam posteriormente me cedendo um Jeep Bandeirante. E eu viro uma pilota de teste da Toyota. Então, enquanto eu executo o meu trabalho, eu também faço teste para a fábrica no Brasil. Tenho muitas histórias para contar ao longo desse período, porque era uma mulher, era um fato muito inusitado ter uma mulher dirigindo no Pantanal, subindo em árvores e andando numa Toyota, às vezes desgratulando outras pessoas, andando meses após meses, anos após anos. Então, isso foi muito interessante, porque eu não fui pontual e voltei, eu fui e fiquei, indo ano após ano. Então, isso criou uma referência muito grande com as pessoas e ajudou a envolvê-las na conservação das araras. Porque o que eu observei de imediato? Primeiro que as araras tinham, as araras azuis, que são os maiores exemplares da família Piscitácide, elas tinham uma especialização muito grande no hábitat, porque se alimentavam de poucas espécies na natureza, basicamente de 2 frutos, ao longo de toda a vida delas, desde que nasciam até a fase adulta, e usavam apenas 90% dos locais uma árvore, uma espécie arbórea para se reproduzir. E já nos primeiros anos de trabalho, eu observo que faltavam cavidades para elas se reproduzirem, porque as poucas cavidades que existiam e que permitiam elas ocuparem, estavam sendo ocupadas e com muita disputa, muitos casais brigando. Então, eu começo, com esses resultados, já a experimentar modelos e materiais de ninhos artificiais e colocando isso na natureza para que elas pudessem usar. Usei galão de fibra de vidro, galão plástico e caixas de madeira, até que eu acerto no modelo. Uma semana depois, as araras estão utilizando esses ninhos e aí eu começo a instalar em larga escala. E isso dá um input, então, para as araras que conseguem encontrar mais cavidades para se reproduzir. A gente, então, desta forma, consegue que elas se expandam na região e aumente o número de casais que têm filhotes a cada ano. Com esse tempo, com esse trabalho que vai se progredindo ao longo dos anos, ampliando as áreas de estudo, um projeto que começou bem pequeno, com uma pessoa, mas que nunca foi executado sozinho. Eu sempre digo que eu nunca trabalhei sozinho, contei com apoios da Embrapa, da Polícia Militar Ambiental, da Secretaria de Meio Ambiente e dos próprios fazendeiros e os peões do Pantanal. Então, ele, embora tenha sido uma iniciativa pessoal, ele nunca foi executado sozinho. Foi exatamente a união, o engajamento com várias outras pessoas que fez com que ele crescesse. E ele foi crescendo tanto que eu precisei criar um instituto, uma personalidade jurídica para ele. Então, em 2003, eu crio o Instituto Arara Azul, onde eu estou hoje. A gente tem uma sede em Campo Grande, eu tenho também uma base no Pantanal, e daquele projeto que nos primeiros 8 anos eu fui basicamente sozinha, em cada viagem eu tinha uma pessoa diferente, eu não tinha uma equipe para me ajudar. Então, quem queria conhecer o Pantanal ia comigo para abrir porteiras, para segurar a corda, para fazer anotações. Hoje eu tenho 16 pessoas me ajudando em pelo menos 4 regiões do Pantanal. A gente tem uma base no Refúgio Ecológico Caimã, que fica cerca de 4 horas de Campo Grande, onde eu moro e onde eu estou nesse momento. E a partir daí a gente pode trabalhar não só as araras azuis. Ao longo dessas 3 décadas, mais de uma centena de pessoas vieram se associar ao nosso trabalho, alunos de mestrado, doutorado, de várias universidades do Brasil e do exterior. Tenho parcerias de longo prazo com a doutora Cristina Miak, na USP, e outras universidades aqui no Brasil, e também que deram origem, deram suporte a trabalhos de mestrado e doutorado, e centenas de artigos que já foram publicados, e outros dados que ainda estão sendo analisados para serem publicados. Com isso, o trabalho cresceu tanto, e não só com as araras azuis, que ficaram em evidências, que melhoraram e expandiram a população, mas, sobretudo, que diminuiu o tráfico, porque as pessoas do local, da comunidade local, ajudaram a protegê-las. E elas estavam na lista de espécies ameaçadas de extinção, acabaram, então, saindo da lista brasileira, em dezembro de 2014, e continuaram como vulneráveis pela IUCN. Porém, nos últimos anos, onde a gente tem, além das mudanças climáticas e o aumento de eventos extremos, principalmente também causados por desmatamento, queimadas e incêndios, sobretudo nos últimos 3 anos, isso tem afetado grandemente as araras azuis na natureza e hoje a gente enfrenta novos desafios. Infelizmente, o fato dela ter saído da lista de espécies ameaçadas do Brasil diminui as sanções sobre ela e, com isso, ela voltou de novo a fazer parte do tráfico e é um tráfico um pouco menor do que era no passado, mas ele voltou a existir novamente. Fato que faz nos unirmos com as polícias federais, Polícia Militar Ambiental, aqui não só aqui no Brasil, mas nos nossos países vizinhos, como Bolívia e Paraguai, onde estamos trabalhando com os pesquisadores desses países também, porque as araras azuis, além do Brasil, elas ocorrem principalmente no Pantanal, na região norte do Brasil e no Nordeste, onde se encontram os estados de Tocantins, Piauí, Maranhão e Bahia, e na Bolívia e no Paraguai. Então, como ela não tem fronteira, a gente tem tentado trabalhar com os pesquisadores desses outros países para que eles consigam fazer o mesmo trabalho de envolvimento da comunidade e também com a polícia para impedir que esses filhotes ou adultos ou ovos continuem sendo retirados da natureza. Por ser um trabalho de longo prazo e, sobretudo, por esse fato de estarmos constantemente monitorando os ninhos, colocando novos ninhos artificiais, recuperando ninhos naturais, porque araras azuis são aves fiéis aos locais de reprodução, sempre voltam aos mesmos locais para se reproduzirem, então é fácil de encontrá-las novamente. E com isso a gente consegue ter ninhos que estão sendo monitorados há mais de 20 anos. E com isso a gente consegue também recuperar essas árvores que ficam velhas, que podem se quebrar, e a gente tenta fazer com que elas continuem sendo usadas o máximo possível. Só realmente quando a árvore não tem mais jeito e cai totalmente, é que aí a gente instala um ninho novo. E as araras acabam ocupando. Araras são aves extremamente interessantes, as araras azuis em especial, que são aves fiéis. Uma vez formado o casal que começa a se reproduzir lá pelos 7 a 9 anos de idade, eles vão estar juntos sempre até que um dos indivíduos morra. E eles vão estar dividindo o cuidado a tarefa de reprodução, de limpeza do ninho, de cuidado dos filhotes. Enquanto a fêmea choca o ovo, o macho vai trazer comida para ela, os dois defendem os filhotes, defendem o ninho. Então, é uma ave muito interessante de se observar na natureza. Uma característica muito importante dela é que ela tem uma força muito grande no bico e, com isso, ela consegue abrir uma pequena cavidade, começada por um pica-pau, por um outro psitacídeo ou uma quebra de galho, e fazer a casa dela para se reproduzir. Porém, essa casa vira um verdadeiro B&B, uma casa de aluguel, porque ela acaba servindo para outras espécies. E nós já identificamos 25 espécies que interagem ou que intercalam com as araras no período de reprodução, ou que usam consecutivamente depois das araras, depois que os filhotes dela deixam os ninhos, e isso também tem gerado outro conhecimento. Nossos outros pesquisadores têm se associado ao nosso trabalho para estudar os insetos que existem na cama, os morcegos que ficam no teto, as corujas, os gaviões, pato do mato, tucanos, que inclusive tem uma relação bem interessante com ela, porque ele é o maior predador de ovos, mas ao mesmo tempo é também o maior dispersor da semente da principal espécie arbórea que tem os ninhos, que tem a possibilidade de formação de ninhos. Então, na natureza, é tudo muito interligado, muito interconectado, e a gente trabalha para que essa conexão continue existindo, porque isso faz parte da nossa biodiversidade, e se a gente está conservando o hábitat da arara, a gente está conservando o hábitat de outras espécies que estão interagindo com ela, inclusive o homem. E se temos um ambiente bom para as araras e para as espécies que interagem com ela, é bom para nós também. Então, nós trabalhamos, além das araras, de outras espécies que interagem com ela, com educação ambiental, com envolvimento da comunidade. Trabalhamos com sensibilização de crianças aqui em Campo Grande, em Mato Grosso do Sul. E também tivemos um fenômeno de chegada de araras canindés e vermelhas em Campo Grande, que acabou virando uma capital das araras, porque temos mais de 300 ninhos cadastrados dentro da cidade, na área urbana, e nós aproveitamos para trabalhar aí com a população urbana de Campo Grande, para ter orgulho também de ter essas araras, e tentamos entender e conciliar essa relação do desenvolvimento com a conservação da biodiversidade. Com isso tudo, a gente tem atingido muitos objetivos para a conservação, trazendo conhecimento, gerando subsídios para a política pública, enganjando a população na conservação e na mudança de atitude, porque, afinal de contas, o planeta é um só, nós não temos um plano B, e se a gente está numa pandemia saindo dela, todos nós estamos sendo afetados, não só os animais, mas principalmente o homem. Então, todos temos que cuidar desse ambiente, porque fazemos parte dele. E, além disso, a gente também apoia outros trabalhos de conservação. A Yara está começando agora o seu doutorado, provavelmente com os nossos campos aqui no Mato Grosso do Sul. E a gente está muito feliz com esse convite, realmente honrado, e convidamos a todos a apoiarem, porque um trabalho de longo prazo, principalmente aqui no Brasil, onde a ciência não é valorizada, tem que ter muita persistência. Eu acho que a minha mensagem hoje é você sempre buscar fazer um trabalho que seja o melhor, que você sempre dê o seu melhor e que você tenha persistência, porque os desafios são grandes e nós estamos sendo desafiados todos os dias. Tenho inúmeras histórias, inúmeros momentos que às vezes pensei em desistir, mas esse desistir não passa de 5 minutos, porque eu regaço as mangas e de novo começo a lutar, porque eu acredito nisso que eu estou fazendo, e esse acreditar faz com que eu contagie outras pessoas que também acreditam junto comigo. Não só essa equipe de 16 pessoas que estão hoje em campo trabalhando ou nos ajudando aqui no escritório, mas os pesquisadores associados, a população, e que estão desta forma contribuindo para a conservação da biodiversidade. Então, nós precisamos, primeiro, valorizar a ciência, dar suporte às pessoas para que possam melhorar os seus estudos e continuar se aperfeiçoando nas suas devidas áreas, e principalmente quem é acadêmico, quem tem um projeto de vida, que sonhe, que não desista dos seus sonhos, mas que sempre tente fazer o melhor e não deixe as barreiras te derrubarem no primeiro momento, porque serão muitas, mas o diferencial é a gente persistir sempre e não esmorecer. Eu acho que essa é a minha mensagem, pedir para as pessoas que contribuam, porque a Dimension Sciences tem realmente um ideal muito importante para pessoas que realmente já são diferenciadas e que precisam, em algum momento, de algum suporte. Então, eu fico muito feliz de estar aqui neste momento falando com vocês e peço que todos façam a sua contribuição. Muito, muito obrigada.
Dr. Gedges, what an inspiration you are to all of us. Thank you so much for those words of wisdom. Our world at this moment, especially at this moment, given the pandemic, needs scientists like Dr. Gedges. Women scientists, scientists from diverse backgrounds, countries, ethnicities, socioeconomic backgrounds and upbringings, and scientists who may be LGBTQ or gender non-conforming. Dimension Sciences was founded to support these scientists and contribute to a more diverse and inclusive scientific community. Now you know why we named it Dimension Sciences. Science must be diverse and has many different dimensions. There's always more than one way to solve a scientific problem. But we need your help. We can't do this work alone. Your donation, your support, your promotion of Dimension Sciences on social media, and your contributions to our mission enables us and our beneficiaries, the very people that you just heard from, to support these and to continue our mission so that it goes well beyond just 2 years. Scientists like our next speaker, Dr. Gisele Buffon. Dr. Gisele received her degree in biology and her master's and doctorate degree in biotechnology from the University of Valle Takari Universitas. She is the recipient of the New Dimension or Nova Dimensão Award and is the founder and CEO of Syntalgy. Dr. Buffon, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Olá a todos, meu nome é Gisele, eu sou uma cientista aqui do interior do Rio Grande do Sul. Eu fiz minha graduação em Biologia, meu mestrado e doutorado em Biotecnologia pela Universidade do Vale do Taquari Universitas. Receber o prêmio Nova Dimensão gerou um impacto muito positivo na minha vida, tanto pessoal quanto profissional. Pessoal, porque eu me senti mais segura e empoderada como mulher no empreendedorismo aqui no Brasil. Porque nós sabemos que não é nada fácil ser mulher e empreendedora aqui no Brasil. E profissional, porque recebendo o prêmio, eu acabei recebendo reconhecimento de outros pesquisadores da área e de outras instituições de pesquisa, que me ajudou muito a aumentar o meu networking e as minhas colaborações na pesquisa. Hoje a minha startup ela é muito jovem ainda, a Syntalgy, e a gente sabe que tem muitos desafios ainda pela frente e muitas barreiras para serem quebradas. Mas receber esse apoio da Dimension Science nos mostra que nós estamos no caminho certo em desenvolver pesquisa e tecnologia aqui no Brasil, e eu me esforço todos os dias para que futuramente eu consiga também ajudar e empoderar outras mulheres e ajudar pessoas menos favorecidas para continuar esse lindo legado da Dimension Science. Eu não tenho palavras para agradecer e mostrar toda a minha gratidão que eu tenho por essa instituição, pela Márcia e por todos os colaboradores. Meu muito obrigada.
Dr. Buffon, thank you so much for those kind words and your inspiration and all the work that you do. Again, we would not have been able to support Gisele without your support to Dimension Sciences. So I wanted to just reiterate that, again, you can go to our website, dimensionsciences.org, or you can just snap a picture of the QR code that you see there in front of you. Just snap that photo and it will take you directly to our donation page. And you can actually choose which program you would like to support. Very important. We cannot do this without you. And I will reiterate that fundraising is not everything we do, but everything we do depends on it. It's so important. So with that, let us go to our next speaker, Dr. Claudia Mitchell, and one of our greatest supporters.
My name is Claudia Mitchell. I'm a scientist entrepreneur with a career that spans academia, biotech, nonprofit, and pharma. My current role, I am the Senior Vice President of Portfolio Strategy at Astellas Pharma, a global company based here out of Tokyo, Japan. And today I wanted to talk a little bit about Dimension Sciences and how their mission really resonates deeply with me. When Marcia first came to me and described the idea for Dimension Sciences, I felt right away, well, I need to support this because I feel very deeply connected, as I said, to the mission, because I too started my career in a developing country, and I know very well the hurdles that I had to overcome to get to where I am today. So I wanted to talk a little bit about my story, how I got here. You know, now I'm in Tokyo, Japan, and I've lived in 5 different countries because of my work. So I wanted to give you a little flavor so you can see and hopefully get inspired by my story and know that you too, you can get the opportunities, and because there are people out there helping you, like Dimension Sciences. So I started my career at the Federal University of Rio de Janeiro. I did my scientific initiation there. I did my master's, and then I went for my PhD in Paris, France. And after I did my PhD, I had decided to go to the U.S. for my postdoc. I had gotten a fellowship from a French association to go do my postdoc in the U.S., but in order to survive in Seattle, which had a higher cost of living than in France, I needed a complement of the fellowship. And that makes me think about Dimension Sciences, because I turned to a private foundation that had grants to support students and fellows who needed that complement of income. So I needed that to support my family. I had my husband and my child who were following me. So that was really the enabler for me to do my postdoc in the US. So I'm really grateful for having had that opportunity. And after I went back to France, I got a faculty position there. So my career, you know, was really enabled by that support that I had from the private foundation. So Dimension Sciences, I know it's doing that kind of thing for many of you, and that's very inspiring. And those small gestures and help at the beginning of the career are really essential, because it launches you and allows you to continue your career. I then I went to do an MBA, started 2 biotechs, sold my company to Astellas Pharma, and now I'm here in Japan. So it's interesting how one thing leads to the other, and how those small gestures and helps that you get along the way are crucial for you to be where you are and to enable your path. I'm a big supporter of Dimension Sciences. I'm really excited that it's already in 2nd year and has accomplished so much. Congratulations everybody in Dimension Sciences. Your mission is really crucial, and you can touch a lot of people's lives. And hopefully for many years. So congratulations. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much, Claudia, for your support and your inspiration. You are part of this journey with Dimension Sciences, part of our vision and part of our dream. We do this for you. So, folks, guess what? We are nearing the end of our celebration and our auction. So with only 5 hours left, again, this will go to midnight tonight Eastern Time, you can still bid on over 100 unique experiences and valuable items in our auction. All this is going to a great cause. One such item is the 2-night stay in relaxing Old Saybrook, Connecticut. I've been there. It's a great place to hang out. Only a mile to the beach, a half mile down to downtown, and you can find plenty of shops and restaurants for your getaway. Look for the auction link in the chat room. Please don't miss out. I want to introduce our next speaker now, Camila Americiano, who is an entrepreneur, co-founder of Decanche, a national brand curating labels and creating experiences centered around Brazilian wines. And Camila is also one of our sponsors. Welcome, Camila, and thank you for your support.
Olá, meu nome é Camila Emerenciano, eu sou sócia cofundadora da Decantse. A Decantse é uma empresa de curadoria de rótulos nacionais do vinho brasileiro, que proporciona algumas experiências enogastronômicas de apoio aos pequenos produtores. E a gente está aqui contribuindo com o Dimension Sciences Second Anniversary Gallery Auction 2021, justamente por um chamado que a gente viu muita semelhança aí, né, de apoio às minorias na ciência, assim como a gente apoia aqui os nossos pequenos produtores. Portanto, estamos doando algumas garrafas para o evento de vocês, para que vocês possam atingir o objetivo do lado da ciência, assim como a gente vem fazendo o nosso trabalho do lado de cá. E vale ressaltar a semelhança também, né, de que o vinho é um organismo vivo, é uma ciência também muito viva, existe muito estudo por trás da vinificação de um vinho, a enologia, a agronomia, E, enfim, a uva traz um componente antioxidante muito importante na bebida, que é o resveratrol, que ajuda o nosso corpo até no combate aí de fungos, de algumas bactérias. Acredito que vocês possam explicar até melhor do que eu, mas a gente entendeu que tem tudo a ver e é por isso que nos tocou poder participar aqui com vocês na nossa contribuição. Além desse componente antioxidante, existe um apelo também aí muito social, né, da bebida, em que as pessoas, enquanto a gente está bebendo, convive com os amigos, de aumento da serotonina no nosso corpo. Então, vamos só lembrar que também não é importante ter o cuidado com o excesso, porque o excesso do álcool também pode bloquear o nosso hormônio aí da felicidade, né? Então, sucesso, parabéns pelo evento, obrigada pelo convite, pela parceria. Pegue sua taça, decante-se com moderação. Um beijo aqui do Brasil. Parabéns, obrigada.
So there is still one more way you guys can help support DS, and that is by volunteering. Without our volunteers, our organization wouldn't exist. In fact, our entire organization is run by volunteers. These are individuals who are paying it forward by giving their time and expertise to a cause that they believe in. I started volunteering with DS a year and a half ago because I truly believe in their mission. I saw an opportunity by volunteering with DS to help make the field of science more inclusive and diverse by helping to give other aspiring scientists like me the same opportunities I had when I first started out. Check out this next video on why you should join our team.
Hello, my name is Caroline Slade. Thank you for joining our annual gala. I volunteer at Dimension Sciences because I believe strongly in the mission of supporting underrepresented and underserved scientists from our communities through scholarships and mentorship programs. Your contributions today will go a long way toward helping us continue to support the mission. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hello everyone, I'm Bruna. I'm a scientist from Brazil. And being a volunteer in Dimension Sciences is an opportunity for me to work for diversity and inclusion in scientific career. So I'm grateful and I hope to help more people to maintain your research for now and in the future.
I volunteer with Dimension Sciences because I think it's really important to empower the next generation of scientists and to connect them to important resources that will help them be successful, especially scientists that may not otherwise have access to those resources.
Hi, my name is Michael. I volunteer with Dimension Sciences because I think this cause of education is something that is worth fighting for. Also because I believe that education is a tool that transforms and changes people's lives and realities and create positive contributions to our society.
My name is Mariana. I am a Brazilian scientist working in the field of oncology, and I volunteered to Dimension Sciences because I believe that the quality of science increases as diversity increases, and also as a Black Brazilian mother of two women working in science, I faced some challenge, and I do wish to see more people like me working in science and succeeding in their career, especially in a country like mine, where the majority of population is Black. So that's it. Thank you for this great opportunity. Have a great evening.
The main reason that I support Dimension Science is because I believe that science is an important tool for social change. So I would like to congratulate Marcia and Bob again for this important initiative and send the best regards to all my friends that also support DS. And happy anniversary, Dimension Sciences. All the best.
And thank you to all of our volunteers. We just We could not do this without you. We are a 100% volunteer organization, folks, and that's important to remember. So most of the funds that we raise for these scholarships and mentoring programs go towards the programs itself. So now as we near the end of our program, I would like to introduce you to another member of the Dimension Sciences leadership, my fellow board member, Dr. Marcio Alves Ferreira. Dr. Alves Ferreira is a testimony to the impact of international exchange scholarship. He was a beneficiary of 2 scholarships during his doctoral and postdoctoral education, respectively, which also helped him establish key research collaborations for more than 10 years. He has mentored international students. He knows the process. He knows the potential impact of these programs and the importance of supporting higher education and inclusion of minorities in science. Marcio, my good friend, welcome.
Hi, my name is Marcio, and I'm a professor at Federal University of Rio de Janeiro and part of the board of Dimension Science. I have been a volunteer since the beginning of the Dimension Science back in 2019, and I really love this work. So I have been part of several initiatives like the DS Bridge, like the Scientist Awards, the Nova Dimensão Awards. They are all very important initiatives to bring diversity to the science. And being part of the academia, I know that that's one of the most important problems that you have, the lack of diversity in academia. So Dimension Science is doing a really very good job to bring diversity to the science. And really, it's something important for me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Marcio. Appreciate your support, your volunteerism, and your leadership in these global exchange scholarship programs. So let me just say this. We are nearing the end of the program, and if you think that 2 years goes by very fast, 90 minutes goes by even faster. I think it has something to do with science. So finally, I'm excited to announce another simple way to contribute to our cause and show your support for Dimension Sciences. We just launched the Dimension Sciences store, and where you can buy shirts, hats, mugs, swag. A portion of the sales goes towards directly to Dimension Sciences programs, and you'll be able to market and spread the word. This coming week, let me finish with this. This coming week, people in the United States and Brazil will pause to give thanks, as so many people around the world will. With that, I want to thank each of you who has participated. I want to say thanks to all of our donors, past, present, and future. I want to say thank you to our scholars, to our mentorees, to our institutional partners, to the sponsors, and of course, our volunteers, the core team that makes all of this happen. Because of you, we are celebrating our 2nd anniversary, and we could not do without you. So thank you all for celebrating with us tonight and for all your kind support. Remember, DimensionSciences.org. You can always come to our website. You can see the recording for this event, and you can continue to support us for the next 2 years and the next 20 years. Thank you very much. Good night.